discrimination. Minorities are largely being left out of the business of selling marijuana, a booming industry that made an estimated $10.4 billion last year. Wanda James is a rare success story for Black people in the cannabis industry. She and her husband opened Simply Pure, a dispensary, cultivation facility, and marijuana edible company in Denver, Colorado. They are the first African Americans legally licensed to own a cannabis company in the US.
Why do you think it's important for there to be more diversity in the cannabis industry?
Because the cannabis industry has been bought and paid for on the backs of people of color.
Though there are no official statistics on the racial makeup of the cannabis industry, one study found that only 19% of marijuana business owners identify as minorities. Less than 5% were African American. Another analysis found that less than 1% of dispensaries in the US were owned by Black Americans. And while white Americans and people of color consume marijuana at the same rate, studies show that Blacks and Latinos have been arrested and incarcerated at least 4 times more than whites for the possession and sale of weed.
We wanted to put a black face on cannabis. I found out that my brother was arrested at age 17 or 18 for 4 ounces of cannabis. That cost him 10 years of his life in the prison system. And 4 of those years he spent picking cotton in a maximum security prison to purchase his freedom.
James' award-winning cannabis, which they grow in small batches, is considered some of the best in Denver. But she says her success didn't come easy.
What was the most difficult thing for you when you were starting out?
Not going to jail. At one point, we got a call from the sheriff's department telling us that they were in the process of raiding our facility. We did not know if we were going to be arrested day in and day out.
And it wasn't cheap. James says opening the Simply Pure dispensary cost her and her husband, who owns several businesses around Denver, about $1 million.
Would you say that it is more difficult for a person of color to get started out in this business?
It is damn near impossible for a person of color to get started in this business. We're finding out that the licensing process is extremely flawed in every state, which is at a detriment to Black-owned, Latino-owned women and vets. And then you add in the idea of the amount of millions that you need to be able to enter into a market right now. And most people of color can't call their mom and dad and say, hey, mom and dad, I need $5 million.
Cost and access are the biggest hurdles facing minorities looking to enter the cannabis industry. A license to sell marijuana can go for tens of thousands of dollars in places like New York and California, and the process for granting them has been called discriminatory. In some states, you can't get a license if you've got a conviction, even for marijuana. And that's just the first step. The industry faces a host of other unique financial challenges because marijuana is still federally illegal. James says the best way to even the playing field is for states and the federal government to figure out a way to help people of color secure funding for their businesses.
So yes, we can give you a license, but if you are not funded to be able to grow that license and to be able to open that business, that license may be your financial downfall. It could cause bankruptcy. It could cause a whole host of other issues.
Congress has one solution in the works. A bill making its way through both the House and Senate would allow banks to work with legal cannabis businesses, so entrepreneurs could open accounts and get loans to pay for licensing fees and cover other costs. The bill has strong bipartisan support, but it's unclear how it will fare in the GOP-controlled Senate. For now, James says cannabis companies should put more effort into integrating their businesses at every level, from the C-suite down to the bud tenders. And for people of color who want to get into the industry, James' advice is to find a way to use the talents you already have.
Bloom where you're planted. The best way to get into this industry is do what you do. So if you're a realtor, guess what this industry needs? People that can find spaces for real estate places, for dispensaries and office spaces and cultivations. If you're a designer, guess what we need? Somebody to design all of this amazing packaging and point of sale information.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that amazing video by Newsy talking about diversity in cannabis and why it is needed and how you can enter the industry. Now, that's a couple years old, but still vital information to know if you are a person of color trying to enter the industry. You have to know what you're going to face when you come in here. You have to know what kind of maneuvers and pathways you have to take in order to get to where you need to go. And I think watching these videos and having some insight from people who have been successful as people of color to get the advice that it took, what it took for them to actually achieve their goals. Good morning, Ida. Good morning. Good morning. As always, you guys, it's Wakey Bakey. I have a little bit of new decor. Yesterday, I had installed the new monitor. I do have a picture up here that represents exactly how I feel about what's going on in the world today. Black Lives Matter, abolish ICE. Brown and black standing together, because out of all demographics, those are the two demographics that are disproportionately targeted by police brutality, the war on drugs. So standing together, this to me is a beautiful image. And I hope this is the way it is in the world, where we stand together, fight together for each other and against injustice for one and all. That's what's up. So good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. As always, if you comment on these streams from Facebook, I will pop your comments on the screen. We can discuss any comments, concerns, or questions you might have. It's time to wake and bake, you guys. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Lots of things going on. Look at what's up. I have to fix cabling. You guys, this cabling is really tacky. We will get to fixing that very, very soon, but we're kind of filling in spaces. We got some crooked stuff back here, intentionally crooked. I've got a hat down here. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and it is 9 o'clock now. I have already started working since about 4 this morning. I'm taking my hair down. Look at this. Look at this. What is going on? It's time to wake up. Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Ida. Good morning, everybody. Let's toke. Let's get this wakey bakey up. I think I'm going to do a dab of the shatter. I'm not really sure what shatter we have in there. It was actually broken down into this container. It is not the wedding cake that it says on the bottom, but we're going to get to it. I need to get a new so I can actually use my rig. But for now, we're going to use this nectar collector. Good morning, everybody. What are you toking on? Comment in the stream below. This is going live right now on Facebook as well as YouTube. You guys can follow all. Good morning, Marcus. Let me go ahead and add Marcus up here. Good morning. What's up? What's up? Long time no chat. Unfortunately, if you're watching this from any of the public pages, either Queens of Chronic, Puff and Slurp, or Miss Ana Izquierdo page, the only way I can see who comments is if you click the link above and allow me to see who's commenting. If you are commenting from my actual page, then I can see who it is, and good morning to you. We're about to do some dabby dabs and get this wakey bakey started. What are all of you guys looking forward to this July 4th? As many of you guys know, Colorado sucks when it comes to fireworks. We're not allowed to do shit. But Wyoming is just about an hour away, and in Wyoming, you can do everything. So, cheers. My family might be going to Wyoming. To satisfy the firework urge, because, that's needed. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. What are you guys planning on doing for the 4th of July? I wanted to mention there is another blackout coming. As you guys know, a couple weeks ago, we had Blackout Tuesday. And now there is another movement of a blackout where on the 4th of July tomorrow, instead of wearing red, white, and blue, you wear all black. It's to stand in solidarity with BLM and with the movement that's going on now to defund police, to stop police brutality. So there is an additional blackout going on tomorrow. for Independence Day. I just saw that on my girl Tamara Anderson's story on Instagram. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely look it up as another blackout for standing in solidarity with BLM. I don't know if it's an official BLM movement. Let me just put that out. I just know that people who support BLM want to push this blackout on Independence Day so that people can show that they support what's going on in like the movement, the actual growth of the community. So wanted to throw that out there. If you guys are interested in being a part of that, definitely look up for more information. I think we're going to do another dabby dab. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not medicated enough. Like, my mind's going 100 miles an hour. I've got so many projects going on, but all good, standing projects. Been dealing with some, well, not even dealing with it, should I say. I have been hearing about some stuff on the internet going on, but c'est la vie. That is life. You cannot combat every single person that tries to attack you on social media. You just really can't invest so much time in it. I used to invest all my time in it. I used to invest all my time in just talking shit back to people who want to talk shit. And you know what I've realized? It's not worth your time, energy, stress, any of that. So to those who are online right now, and I know this will probably get to you, if you're out there talking shit about me, high five. Thank you for being my free advertisement team. I no longer have to pay for any type of help right now for PR. So I appreciate your giving personality to keep my name in your mouth and tell other people about me, which makes them inquisitive to come and find out more about me. So high five. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. High five. I just don't have the time, the energy, or the willpower or the desire to combat that shit anymore. People are talking shit about people, period. But let me tell you what I really find kind of great about what's going on in the world and social media and what's happening. There are a lot of groups that are being created to squash out, call out, and point out racism in their industries, not just weed. There's tons of industries that are doing this. They are literally creating these private groups to expose racism amongst their industry colleagues. Cannabis has done it. There's a few groups out there. There's Racism in Cannabis Exposed. There's another one that's not so Racism in Cannabis Exposed, like exposing people. The other one is called Cannabis Community Accountability. So they actually want to teach people why what they do or what they say is insensitive or has racial connotations or has racism stigmas to it, and educate people so that they hold them accountable for both their digressions and their progress. So I think that's great. I think a group like that is very needed in any industry, one where you can have industry personnel, industry colleagues, industry workers all together, and you hold each other accountable. And again, accountable for not only your digressions, but your progress as well. So I think that's a great group. I know that Racism in Cannabis Exposed is to expose. They want screenshots. They want images of the racism because they want to expose it. This other group wants to hold people accountable and help people learn that, you know, if you say this and it's just racially insensitive, then understand why it's considered racially insensitive, why people of that demographic are offended by what you say, and you give them the opportunity, you give that person who is creating this hurt You give them the opportunity to learn from it. You hold them accountable for their digressions, and then you help them progress. So you hold them accountable for that as well. You want to progress, you have to do it not just now, but you have to continue to do it and make an effort to continue to change what you are doing that is being presented as racist, stigmatic, discriminatory, all of these practices. But if you give somebody the opportunity to see it, understand why that demographic feels that it hurts, and give them the opportunity to learn from it, and then you hold them accountable to keep progressing instead of going back to their original ways, you allow a pathway of growth for one another. And so that pathway of growth it's just like education. I worked in early childhood education for a very long time. I am certified in family support. I'm also certified in early childhood education. 45-hour certificate, had to go through multiple months of just learning how to correspond, communicate with families when it comes to the education pathway of children that are not school age. So it's very hard training. It's very frustrating, and working with kids can be frustrating. Not so much the children, but the correspondence and the communication with the adults pertaining to their children. That gets really hard because when you're trying to talk to a parent about their kid, a good 7 out of 10 times you're going to have a parent that feels defensive because when you speak of the child's behavior, in a lot of aspects, it's a reflection of their parenting skills. So you get a lot of defensive parents. So you go through this certification process to learn how to communicate with parents about what their kids are doing and how you might be able to help them, kind of navigate and guide their kids so that they are not doing this behavior that is not allowed or permitted amongst the classroom. So same process. It's the same process when it comes to combating the discriminatory practices, the racially insensitive practices, the stigmatic practices of society. You have to present an opportunity for people to realize, recognize, and understand why what they're saying is offensive or hurtful to that demographic. You can't just be like, you're a racist and we're done. In my opinion, and these are all my opinions, we would do better at saying, yo, what you just said was pretty insensitive. And let me tell you why it's insensitive. Blah, 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 A, B, C, D, subset A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, bullet point, blah, 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 blah. Once they recognize it and they say, okay, I heard you, I see where you're coming from, and they can go to one of two ways. I want to change this because now I see and understand where you're coming from as this being offensive. Or they can say, I see where you're coming from, but I don't care. I'm still going to say what I want. So you're going to come to a fork in the road. That's where you decide whether you're going to progress and give them more of an opportunity to learn, or you're going to say, okay, you choose that path, c'est la vie, that is life. Do you, I will do me. I can no longer interact with that type of, personality and the practices that you decide to use. So that's where I'm at. When it comes to facing discriminatory people, facing people who have these stigmas, when it comes to that, I used to be the one who was like, fuck you, you're racist, we're done. That used to be me. But I have now come to a point in my life after much therapy, after much growth and process of trying to just get myself on the right path. I have come to a position where if I have an obstacle that has to do with race, insensitivity, just discrimination, just utter disregard of another individual based on anything that has to do with culture, ethnicity, race, period. What I do is I initially approach it with an educational approach. I approach it in, hey, yo, this is not cool, this is not cool, this is not cool. And this is why it's not cool. Do you understand that this is why the stigma was created and this is what we're suffering from? So maybe you can have a better understanding of why we don't find your comment or your post or your meme or your whatever on social media to be cool. Like, it's not cool. And then if that person responds in a derogatory way where they're just like, fuck you, I don't care what you feel, then it's like, all right, now I'm just going to go ahead and disregard what you know, you don't want any growth. You want to stay stagnant. You want to stay being a stigmatic fool. Go right on ahead. That is your life. C'est la vie. Yours. Like, that is your life. So, but if somebody, you know, says something that's insensitive or is hurtful to a demographic of any kind, and my response is, hey, yo, this is not cool, blah, 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 and here's why. And their response is, oh, I never saw it that way. I'm so sorry. How can I learn more? Or how can I get better? Or how can I do better? I am all up for telling people or helping people figure out what they can do better to progress in life, like, period. And so I don't feel at this time in my life that I am totally prepared to just be like, no, you're a fucking racist, piss off. I always want to approach it in, hey, this is why what you're saying is hurtful, and give them an opportunity to decide whether they want to progress and be better people or whether they want to just stay stagnant. If they want to stay in and dwell in their hate and their criticism of other people, that's their choice. That means I also have a choice not to associate with them. So give them an opportunity to grow. Hold them accountable for what they do. And if they choose to continue to be ignorant, you have a choice to stay with that ignorance in your life or let them go. Let them be ignorant on their own. I choose not to waste time. So, with that being said, that's kind of the tip I'm on. I think I want to take another dab. I've got so much stuff on my desk right now, and I'm still kind of cleaning and designing. I'm getting ready for this new show, Women's Sesh, that we're going to be doing. Got a whole wall over there I got to design. I've got some bar stools I got to pull up. Like, this is the whole room just basically set up for doing all of these shows and all of these live streams until the big Canna Catwalk event, which is coming. Oh my goodness, I've got so much stuff. Cute little bee-nail collectible pin. So pretty. I've also got some toast pins and a Starbud pin. And these are all things that are going into our Stash and Dashes in Colorado. If you guys are interested in the Stash and Dashes and getting a hold of some of that swag, you gotta follow me on Instagram. It's not going to be anywhere else but Instagram. Oh, now I got to tie my hair up again because it's just getting on my face and I don't like it. So what is everybody's plans for 4th of July? What are you going to be doing? So somebody sent me a message. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and take a final dab. I've got lots of stuff to do today. I'm almost done with a video series that's going to be coming out. I've got, like, I start, it's kind of crazy. I do things pretty, like, just out there. I start, like, 2 or 3 video projects and start putting them together because I get bored with creating one, so I go on to start creating another. And I end up with 3, like, halfway done projects so that the next day I can come in and do the same thing and finish them. So by the end of the week, I can have potentially 4 to 6 full-length video projects for YouTube, WeTube, and then I can also get About 4 or 5 small social media video projects completed as well in 1 week. But I tend to do them like scattered because I'll start editing, and editing video is so tedious. And so I get like, ugh, I don't want to do this one anymore. Let's start another one. Knowing that I have like 7 projects I have to finish in the next 2 weeks, I try to get at least 3 or 4 of them started and finished and completely done in a 2 to 3 day period. So I've got so many projects to complete today. I think I have 3 video projects and 5 short social media clips to finish today. Cheers. And then that's it. And then I get to celebrate 4th, and I think we're going to be driving to Wyoming. And if y'all didn't know, my birthday is next Sunday. Turning the big 3-8. I'm thinking about having a small, short virtual sesh with whoever wants to join. So if you're interested in being part of the virtual sesh, it's totally free. I'll send you a link. We'll have a virtual sesh, joke, laugh, celebrate my birthday, and then call it a day for the virtual aspect of my birthday. I have asked to go on a mini vacay from a fam. We'll see how that happens. But yeah, super stoked. My nephew's birthday is on the 7th. Happy birthday, Joshi. I will talk to you soon. My birthday's on the 12th, and then my son's birthday is on the 23rd, and then my niece's birthday is on the 29th. So July is just filled. Like, I swear, people in my entire family were just humping crazy, like in in like October, September, and November to end up having their babies in July. Like, winter months, man. When it gets cold outside, like, people start cuddling. One thing leads to another. Body heat rises, and then all of a sudden in July and August, you got babies popping out. So, yeah. My birthday's on the 12th. I'll be turning 38. So yeah, I get to have a virtual sesh. If you want to be a part of that, comment below, DM me, whatever the case may be, and I will send you a link to the virtual sesh on my birthday. It's only going to be like maybe an hour. We're just going to jump on, smoke, tell some jokes, open presents, maybe. I don't know. Do something cool. Maybe I'll give away some stuff on my birthday. That sounds cool. I've got like some Betsy Johnson stuff to give away. If you guys don't know who Betsy Johnson is, really good and well-known designer. Got some of her stuff to give away in stash and dashes and stuff like that. So maybe that's what we'll do. Who knows? I think I'm going to take one more dab before I go and finish these projects. Don't forget to comment below in the stream. Let me know what you are toking on. Thank you to everyone who participated this morning. And we'll get this last dab in. Are you dabbing? Are you smoking? Are you toking? What you doing? Cheers. I think later on we'll do a sesh where we will be token on this Butte rock chair. This is some cherry diesel. Look at how pretty. Looky. I love giving you guys that close-up of the bud so you can actually see quality. Some people on social media that like roll joints and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna toke, this is so great, look at how pretty it is. You can't really tell. I mean, the light kind of gives it like that sugary look, but it's not. So I want to give you guys close-ups. I want you guys to be able to see all the sugar leaves. I want you to be able to see all of the hairs, everything that makes you just look at weed and go, God, it's pretty. Don't forget, you guys, keep your masks on, wash your hands, do the things you need to do to keep your community safe and clean. Let's not have another spike in COVID where we got to shut shit down again. Here in Colorado, they just re-shut down all the bars and nightclubs. Places are shutting down completely again. Some people are doing a stay. Some people still have travel bans and etc. I don't think we're going to be done with this for a minute. So, take your precautions, keep yourself safe, keep your family safe. I love you guys. Thanks for watching and joining me on this Wakey Friday. We'll do another live session soon. Black Lives Matter, abolish ICE, Wakey Bakey. Have a great Friday. Love you guys. Peace and love. I'm out.